You're mine, mine.
You are now tuned into Philly's Morning Joe with your host, Joe Castro. Now, you might not like us, but we know you love us. So grab your cup and get ready to talk some Eagles. Go Birds.
You want Philly food?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, a.k.a. Philly Fresco, and it is another episode of Philly's Morning Joe, man. I'm excited because there's a lot to talk about. At the end of the day, we're on bye, but there's still a whole bunch of drama. In Philadelphia, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to have some fun today, man. Hopefully, y'all see me good. My camera, it feels like my lens keeps going dark, but I'm here. I promise I'm here. I'm trying to wear, bright colors, get everybody in the mood. How are y'all feeling? I'm happy. I'm in a good mood. I really am. I can't complain too much. I really can't complain too much. Today we're going to have a special guest on, so I'm excited about that. But let's see who we got in the chat already, man. We already got, 20-something people in the chat. So shout out to everybody, man. Who we got in here? We got 18 Will and Eagle. We got B-Mo Careful in the building. Philly Big Dog in the building. Carlos Holloway in the building, Sila in the building. What's going on? If you are on the Twitter side, come on over to the YouTube side. We don't bite, man. We'll have a good time, have a good conversation. So I want to start with Darius Slay. All right? We're going to talk about the coaches. We're going to talk about Nick Sirianni. We're going to talk about Billy B. We're going to talk about all that. But we're going to talk first about Darius Slay. So if you don't know, if you don't follow me on Twitter, I did get blocked by Darius Slay because I'm going to be real with you. I was upset with how he went on. I want to phrase this right because I feel like a lot of people are mishearing or are misinterpreting what I'm trying to say. I didn't like the fact. I don't mind that he went on the podcast. I don't mind that he's friends with Micah Parsons. I don't mind that they do content together. I don't even mind the timing of it. I really don't. I mind the snowball effect of him continuously, and you guys tell me if I'm lying on this, but him continuously calling out other players on his team, calling out teammates, talking, I don't want to say talking junk about teammates, because to him it might just be, in jest, but constantly throwing his other teammates under the bus just to shine his own hardware, right? Just to be like, hey, well, look at what I did over my career. And it's not the first time. This isn't the first time he's done it. This is the first time he's done it with a Cowboys player, and basically, if I was CGJ, I would feel some type of way. If that was my guy, if that was my friend, if that was my teammate that went on opposing players' podcast, a guy that has beef with him, a guy that he didn't like how he called him out, right? All this, and then go on there and laugh with him. I've been talking to a lot of Eagles fans. I've been talking to my girl about it. I've been talking to people about it. And we're going to talk about it to the guy, and I'm going to keep the guest a surprise. I want to surprise you guys. But I've spoken to the guest about it. And at the end of the day, there's so many different ways you could have handled that. So many different ways you could have taken care of that. You could have, hey, listen, yeah, he's bugged out. He be wilding out, man. But that's my dog. That's my boy CGJ. He talks a lot of junk. And we going to back it up soon. Not he has to back it up at some point. That's, bruh. I'm sorry. That sounds messed up. If you said let me, because, he said, they were talking about how people don't go to our job and talk about us. I think that was Isaiah Rogers that said that. People do that at my job. People yell at me all the damn time. People are always mad at my job. So I don't know, maybe I just have a terrible job. But at the end of the day, if it was my job and I know my coworker went to another job that was talking junk about me, told me I was trash or whatever it may be, and he went to that job and was laughing because, oh yeah, yeah, sometimes he's trash. Sometimes he talks junk, but he don't back it up. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to feel some type of way. Am I alone there? Am I crazy for thinking that CGJ has a right to be upset about that? I don't know. Maybe I am. I will say, and look, a lot of people, again, I feel like they misinterpret what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying he's the worst cornerback we've had. He's probably the best cornerback we've had in probably 10, 15 years. Realistically, he's one of the, when he came to Philadelphia, I was elated, and I'm still happy that we have him on our team. But if you're going to do stuff like that, that's not a team. That's not teamwork. That's not a teammate. So I don't know. Again, maybe I'm bugging. Maybe I'm tripping here. Maybe I'm overthinking it, overdoing it. You guys let me know. But I usually stay out of stuff like this. I usually will shut my mouth. Usually I'll just be like, hey, you do you. You know what I'm saying? Let's not overreact. Let's not go crazy. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't love it. I hate it. I'm going to be real with you. So we'll see what happens. Like Be More Careful says, we get criticized at our job too. But you don't go to the ops. I hate to say that, I'll try to sound young, I guess. But you don't go to the opposition and you don't laugh with them about your teammate. That just doesn't make sense. There's no way you can paint that picture. And I see a lot of people being like, oh, well, he does talk a lot of junk. He does talk a lot of junk. He shouldn't be talking junk like that if he ain't going to back it up. Yeah, but you don't say that. Us as fans, I get it. But as a teammate, Bro, we give Nick Sirianni such a hard time because Nick Sirianni will take the bullet for everything. Nick Sirianni literally takes the bullet for everything, and we give him a hard time for that. I don't know. I don't like it. I'm going to be real with you. I don't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I'm not a fan of how that went down. We'll see what happens. Maybe they talk about it. Maybe they don't. Maybe, I don't know. But I would love to know what y'all think. I would love to hear what y'all thinking. So we're going to go through what y'all thinking right now. We're going to go through some of these comments. Be more 18 wheeling, and we are going to talk about Billy B, because I do not want Billy in Philly. I'm telling you that right now. I do not want Bill Belichick in Philadelphia. That is not something I want, but we're going to talk about that. 18 wheeling says, Billy B. Yeah, no, I don't want him. Be More Careful says, I don't. Speaking about Billy, I got a Bill Belichick, all right? I'm trying to give him a hip name. I don't, and remember I said this, Brian Flores for head coach. I would not be mad at that at all. Not mad at that at all. And realistically, how soon of it, what is the breaking point? What is the breaking point for Nick Sirianni? The Eagles don't like to fire coaches in season. I think the last person they did that with was Chip Kelly, and then old boy from, was it Pat something? I forget what his name was. The dude that used to coach for the Giants. He ended up being our head coach for like one game, won us that game. Anyways, whatever. That's like the only coach I can think of that we actually fired in season. I'm sure some of the older fans can go back in the day and tell me some other guys. But I mean, I don't know what the breaking point is for Nick Sirianni. Is it a culmination of the season? Is it at the end of the season if we don't have, 12 wins, if we don't, win a playoff game? Is that what you're going to say this is the breaking point? So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what's the breaking point. What you guys let me know in the comments. What's the breaking point for a Nick Sirianni? Is it you lose to the Giants? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that you say, okay, it's over, experiment over, let's move on. So we'll see what happens. Let me get back to the comments. Philly Big Dog says, if the Eagles fire Nick Sirianni today, would you rather Bill Belichick or Vic Fangio become the new Eagles head coach? One, I don't know if they can fire him or if they can hire an outsider during the season. I'm not sure about that. I would have to look up the rules. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know, so I'm not saying either way. I don't want Vic Fangio as our head coach. I'm going to be real with you. I don't think the defense is even listening to him. And he's a defensive coordinator that sits in the booth. You want a head coach that sits in the booth? I don't. I want a guy that could kind of walk up and down the sidelines a little bit and get people going. I mean, you saw last game, he said that he made an adjustment, but it didn't get down to the players quick enough. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You heard Nick Sirianni say that they can't hire, but they can hire a consultant. Thank you. All right. That's what I thought. I thought it wasn't, you can't outright hire a head coach during the season. What was I going to say? But yeah, you heard Nick Sirianni straight up say he didn't have his guys ready, that he just didn't have them prepared. That defense hasn't looked prepared since the start of the season. I think outside of one game, right? Outside of one game, we could say they looked prepared in that one game. So, yeah. This team isn't prepared for games. We are in the breaking point right now. I mean, yeah, I can see that. Salah said, Trotter Sr. said, if my son were to be drafted by the Cowboys, I would only wear his college uniform. I love that OG mentality. Bretton, a lot of people, shout out to Trey Thomas, shout out to Todd Harrimans. They were talking about it, and Trey Thomas even went online and talked about it and said it's just a different time. I mean, we saw LaShawn McCoy even say, like, back in the day, they didn't want to train together. They weren't buddy-buddy like they are now. It was a rivalry, and I'm cool with them being friends. I really don't care. I really don't care that they're friends. I understand that. I'm cool with it. I understand the media aspect of it. Darius Slay's career isn't going to last forever. He's going to have to do something after football, right? I know he's into gaming. I know he's into the media side of stuff. So, cool. I'm okay with that. I really am okay with that. Shout out to Kataya's mom on the Twitch side. What's going on? But yeah, no, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. What you can't do is let that interfere with what's going on now. You can't let your future interfere with what's going on now. And that's a bad look. That's a very bad look. I'm sorry. It's not that you went on the show. It's not that you're friends with him. It's the fact, it's everything you did in between and everything you've been doing. Every time we lose, I feel like I get reminded of Darius Slay's stats. I get reminded that, oh yeah, I played all right. But as a team, man, I said this to my girl earlier. If the team loses, you lose. If the team loses, Darius, you lose. There's no in between. There's no, well, I did okay. No, that makes zero sense. I'm not with it. I don't like it. I hate every bit of it. And we'll see what becomes of it. I think that this is something that we're going to be talking about for a while because it's not going to end. I mean, we're going to probably lose another game, right? We're probably going to lose at least one more game. I mean, if not more. What's going to happen then? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's not going to stop talking junk. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's not going to shut up all of a sudden. That's not going to happen. So what happens? What happens? Does it become something that breaks up the locker room? Do some of these older guys, I mean, he is a vet. He is technically a vet, but does Brandon Graham say, bro, you weird? I don't think he would because he's the ultimate professional, but these are questions you got to ask. And at the end of the day, you got to answer, Nick Sirianni. I think Nick Sirianni has to really take this head on. And Nick Sirianni really has to face this head on, and he has to squash this quick. Because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson put on his Instagram, damn. I don't know if that has anything to do with Darius Slay. Crazy timing, crazy coincidence if it doesn't. But if I'm Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I'm feeling a type of way. I'm going to be real with you. I'm feeling a type of way. Coaches change, still the same garbage defense. This team is fundamentally flawed. And that's a big thing, too. We talk about Nick Sirianni all the time, and I've talked about this before. Is it a culture change we need? Is it a philosophy change we need? Are we too buddy-buddy with the team, with the players? Are the coaches too friendly with every player? Is everything about, hey, just make sure they're happy? And I want them to be happy. I want people to like being in Philly, don't get me wrong. But there's a difference between happy and, making sure they're happy and enabling people. I don't want you to enable people. At the end of the day, you still got to coach them hard. You got to coach them tough. Pause. It is what it is. You got to coach them tough. You look at Jalen Hurts, his college quarterbacks were tough coaches. He did the best, I think, under a lot of guidance with a lot of good quarterback coaches. So I think that if you bring that type of culture, bring that kind of, hard knock, just, gritty, tough type defense or type coach mind, I think we'll be fine. I think we will be fine. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Let me get back to the comments. I know I'm just, it is what it is. Coming from a Cowboys fan, what Slay did was wrong. Carlos said it. Nigel said it's something, but then again, it's nothing. As fans, we can blow up out of proportion, but I hope the players talk amongst themselves and get past this, focus on Cleveland. I agree. I mean, we do. I was about to say we have leaders in this locker room, but do we? Do we have leaders in this locker room? Who's gonna start the conversation? That's my I don't want to say issue, but that's my concern. Who's gonna start the conversation? Is it gonna be Nick? Is Nick gonna be the one that says, "Hey, let's go sit down and talk about this Slay and CGJ"? I don't think so. He didn't talk after we lost. He says it's a player-ran team. So what player is gonna step up and go talk to these guys? Because this isn't just gonna. I don't think it's something that's just going to fade. I understand that it's something and it's nothing at the same time. It's not a huge deal. I think what he said and how he said it, how he reacted to his teammates kind of getting pooped on, I think that says a lot. So I think it is something in that sense. I definitely think it's something in that sense. Carlos says that's something that can destroy a locker room. Marcus says Slay was wrong. As a teammate, you say that to him in the locker room. Be more careful says, I agree. Hurts hasn't had a good quarterback coach since Oklahoma. He had a good quarterback coach when Steichen was here. We had a good team. We had a good team of coaches. I really don't know. I don't know what it is we need. I think that it's a bunch of things we need. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And one of the biggest things is we need a leader. We need somebody that's going to step up and say, hey, no more of this. Let's calm it the hell down. Let's get this show back on the road. And, look, if there's a play, and this might be a good thing. And let me say this. If there is a guy in this room, if there is a guy in this locker room, even if it's Nick Sirianni and he says, all right, I got to get back into gear. I got to get back onto my players. I got to get back into this because they're going out there and just, they're looking stupid. Because they are looking dumb right now, right? So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that now they realize, all right, maybe this whole player-led thing isn't working. Maybe me as a coach, I have to actually, I don't know, maybe do something. Maybe do something. But either way, man, I want to give a big shout out to a good friend of mine. If you guys don't know, I am now on Fox Sports, The Gambler. We cover everything Philadelphia. I'm helping a lot with the Eagles stuff. So this is a good friend of mine, but he's also kind of my boss. So make sure you guys are on your best behavior. Sean, can you hear me? Hold on, I might be muted. Let me make sure I'm not muted. Can you hear me now? You can hear me now? Awesome. All right, so we got my guy, Sean Brace, Fox Sports, The Gambler. My guy, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm glad we got the bye week, man.
Bro, you said exactly what I was feeling with that sigh. I think the sigh alone says it all. So, listen, I'm going to start right off the bat with you. I mean, we've been talking about it in the chat we've been talking about what's going on with this Philadelphia Eagles team. I want to ask you right off the bat, what are you thinking about Nick Sirianni? What are you thinking about this coaching staff? And do you think they're the main problem?
No, I mean, look, I don't think it's all, one answer, right? One concise answer at this point in time. I'm trying not to be the Negadelphian here, and I normally am not, right? Because there's no reward in that. I am always more to the side of rah-rah. I've always been that, man. I've been out there for a long time, so people know me. I'm definitely not like that, but I do have a bad feeling about what we're seeing right now and where this goes from here. But let me just start by saying they're 2-2.
Yeah.
They have been without main weapons on the offensive side of the ball. I was never fooled into thinking that this team was all of a sudden going to turn into the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens, on the defensive side of the ball. It was always about offense, score points, shots down the field, and hopefully the defense can make a turnover here or limit them to 3 there. And I still do believe that could possibly be the way that this plays out. But where I'm at right now, throughout the 4 games, I'm concerned. Let's start with the defensive side of the ball, because that's where my mind goes immediately. Vic Fangio, I tuned into the press conference yesterday. I don't know. I was sold Vic Fangio was this guy that's going to come in and fix his system. Maybe his system ain't worth a damn.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we need to start thinking. This is troublesome now. We're 4 games into this year. I haven't seen anything that I've liked from the defense except for that New Orleans game. I'll give them credit on that one. That's fair. But bottom line is, just as far as stopping the run, getting after the quarterback, getting off of the field, forcing turnovers, non-existent. It's just you're scratching your head right now. So defense, I'm wondering what's going on. And then it comes back to, like you said, with the coaching as well in the big picture, the wand. This team wanted no part of playing that game on Sunday. And that comes to Nick Sirianni. I don't care if these guys are professionals making millions upon millions of dollars. Your job is to get them ready to play. They wanted no part of that game on Sunday. It was embarrassing. I wish I didn't go out. I wish I stayed home. Shouldn't have wasted money, because it was over as soon as Baker Mayfield goes 8-9 down the field in the first drive. It was embarrassing. So you're mixing all that, and on top of, people can argue with themselves on this one, he lost the game against the Falcons by throwing that football and stopping the clock. If he did not, they win that football game. Much different situation we're in right now. So he's a little bit of a liability at this point in time. I like I said, Joe, I just got a bad feeling about this team right now, and I think that we could see this snowball if they don't come out of this bye week hot. And where are we going to get that? Where are you coming up with this? Everything's going to be great. We don't know who's healthy. I get it. The bye week is the bye week, but we got guys doing podcasts with Micah Parsons, and then we got other guys in the locker room going, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
It's a disaster. This right now feels a very disaster-like, and it could snowball in the wrong direction.
Yeah, and you bring up snowball, and I've been using that word so much. And I'll get back to the Nick Sirianni stuff, but you brought up the podcast, and I've been upset about that. I'm going to be honest with you. And it's not necessarily, Sean, that he was on a podcast. A little bit, right? Maybe get blocked a little bit, right? Look, it's not necessarily that he's on the podcast. It's not necessarily that you're friends with, Micah Parsons, that you have friends in the league. I get it. They have outside lives. I totally get that. My problem is the snowball effect of you continuously putting your teams to... I'm going to say it. Continuously putting your teammates under the bus, throwing your teammates under the bus, and then putting your hands up saying, but I had a good game. I think that shows a lot of the lack of leadership, and then coming out and saying, but I'm a leader like this. This is how I'm a leader. Do you think that can affect the locker room? Do you think that can really, because CGJ came out and said, damn, what we don't know, right? I'm not going to read his mind, but very crazy timing right after that happening. Do you think this is something that somebody has to step up and kind of get in front of and stop this right now? Do you think that there's anybody in that locker room that can kind of get in front of this right now?
I was hoping Jalen Hurts, right? I said yesterday, if he's the leader that he wants us all to believe he is, and even Slay said in that video last night, like, hey, this is what he does. He's a vocal guy. He's the motivating guy that vote. Like, okay, good. We don't see that. That's fine. That's good. You guys are professionals. Figure it out. So ultimately, it comes down to those bigger voices. But Brandon Graham hopped on a radio show the other night and was like, he didn't like it. Like it just has this feel of like uncertainty right now. It's not a good vibe with everything Eagles related. And ultimately, Joe, we know this. We've been around this a long time. Winning cures all. Yeah. If they come out and beat Cleveland, we're on to the next. I think the Giants follow that. On to the next. Like, this could all go away if they win football games. Yeah. And they have that opportunity. The season is still in front of them. They got 13 games left. But if they don't go up to Cleveland and win, then what? That's the issue. And then now we're talking about more pointing the fingers. We're talking about more sound bites of, we have our moments talking about your coach. Come on, Jalen. Like, if you are a leader, you have to realize that situation, and you have to give them more. You know what's being said. You know what's being discussed. I expected more from Jalen Hurts. Again, because I look at him as the leader. Yeah. These guys are all wearing these C patches, but I'm not seeing any leadership.
Yeah, I think that's very fair, and I think I try to give Jalen Hurts a pass for the last game playing-wise because you didn't have three of your most important players. I mean, that's fair to say. But you are right. There, at some point, all that, I just show, the stoicness. That at some point, you got to get pissed. At some point, you got to go up to your players and say, what the heck is going on? Let's get this together. I saw him do it against Cam Jurgens, or to Cam Jurgens. Is it you feel more comfortable doing it to a younger guy? You don't want to talk to these vets? What is it? So, I mean, I agree 100%. But like you said, and we're going to get positive now. Like you said, we have 14 games ahead of us. Yeah. We are getting healthier, right? That's the most important thing. We are getting healthier, hopefully, right? But outside of health, outside of people coming back, what's the path? Do you look at this team and say, if we start, because I'm going to be real with you, I think this should be a team that maybe you go in the trade, maybe you go on a trade block, go look for another running back and say, we're going to run it 30, 40 times a game with our running backs. Maybe that's the path. Do you think there's a certain path this Eagles team or Nick Sirianni should kind of follow to get the most out of this team?
Well, it's funny you say that because they have the best player in the game right now, numbers-wise. Actually, Kamara's number one, fantasy numbers. Saquon's 2, but it's neck and neck. I think they exchanged in 3 and 4, week 3 and 4. Joe, 10 carries? Yeah. 10 carries? 10 carries? Like, come on, what are we doing here? Saquon knows what it's like to not have help. Like, give him the rock and get out the damn way. He played his entire career so far with the Giants. Like, this is a game in Tampa. You just have to say, guys, we're undermanned right now. We're going to change things up. We're going to have this type of scheme. Saquon is our bell cow back. Give him the ball. There's no way. Like I said this as a joke. I would honestly have like the balls and strikes counter, or the security guard counter outside the nightclub and one out. That's my Saquon Barkley touches counter. If I'm Nick Sirianni or Kellen Dam Moore, 1, 2, 3, and it's 10 and 10. I don't care if it's passes and catches. I don't care if it's handoffs, reverses, screens, whatever it is. Get the ball to your best damn player. How is this difficult? And miss me on the fact that they open up down whatever it was, 14 points. I understand that, but dude, we've never seen a team come back. We've been watching these games for a long damn time. Team's out of it. All of a sudden, fourth quarter comes around. They're down by 17. They win the football game. Like, stick to your message. Stick to your guns. And Saquon Barkley better be the message. He is the gun. Why are we not giving him the football as much as possible? Like, it just really confused me in that game against Tampa. So I'm frustrated with the leadership. I'm frustrated with the coaching. The plan of attack. Like it's ugly right now, but this is a winnable football game after a bye against the Cleveland Browns. So we'll see what happens on that one. And Joe, finally, I just want to say this. We talked about this yesterday. Give me your power rankings of the NFC. Right now, Minnesota is undefeated. Is there anybody in their damn mind going to sit here and say that they'll take Sam Darnold to win the Super Bowl? I don't care if they go 17-0.
Yeah.
And they got the first round bye, and they got home field throughout. I'm going to have a hard time putting pen to paper picking Sam Darnold to win a Super Bowl. This is open. This is open.
Yeah, yeah. And, it's funny. Somebody yesterday at my job came up to me. Nothing else. Didn't say hi. Just said, how much money do you think I would have won if I put down that Commanders would be leading the NFC East after 4 weeks? So this is a crazy NFL right now. I mean, especially the NFC side. Everybody's just all over the place. Injuries. I mean, it's crazy. So we should be happy that we're at least getting out of the bye week, and it looks like we'll be close to 100%. Obviously, still don't have Britton Covey back. But you'll be close, right? And you're getting even more guys back. Sidney Brown coming back. Manias Smith. I don't know how hyped people are going to be about that, but we'll see what he can bring to the team. So you're getting guys back. It's exciting. But it is frustrating because you had a guy on the team that can do so much. And I want to kind of build off of that. I want to keep snowballing. I like that word. But I want to keep snowballing off that because we're talking about a philosophy here, I think. I think that we're looking at the Eagles' philosophy, and it's been said before. I've had numerous different people on. I mean, we have Dave Spadaro that does the show on Mondays. I'm sure he'll tell you. He said it on my show before. Fran Duffy said it on. I mean, everybody that's connected to this team has told me Jeffrey Lurie wants to be a passing team. He wants to be pass happy. He wants to win games in the air because that's kind of how the NFL is built. But when you have a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, I think you need to change your philosophy. So we look at Nick Sirianni. We say we need to fire him. We need to fire that person. We need to fire that person. My fear becomes, does our philosophy handcuff us to another Nick Sirianni? Do we just go to another guy that's the exact same way? So how much of this, in your opinion, do you think is a philosophy problem with the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, look, there's no doubt about it. Let's just hit the rewind button. Is this, I think, Jalen Hurts' third play caller in the last 3 years?
Yeah.
Like, that's not easy, and I don't want to see another one next year. But this is the dance that Jeffrey Lurie did with the whole, hey, is Nick Sirianni coming back or isn't he in the offseason? So here we are, and it's very unfair to a point, but we knew this coming in that the first loss, let alone 2-2, let alone the loss against the Falcons the way it played out, there was going to be question marks. There was going to be people saying, Bill Belichick, I know you talked about that already. Like, this is going to happen. It's just the nature of the beast. And even if he was 4-0, there'll still be people going, I'm not sold on Sirianni. So it is a little unfair. Guys made the playoffs every year, but it's what have you done for me lately? In the way that last year ended, it's unacceptable. It was so ugly. And I just feel like that's the team, right? Like, I can't get last year out of my head still to this point. Fair or unfair, that's just my perspective. And then when you lump it all together, this team is 3-10 in their last 13. You know, like the almighty cliche, you are what your record is. I get that was last year, but it still has that feel because of the single guy is still in charge and Nick Sirianni. But the philosophy, look, like, I'm a guy to play to your strengths. And week in, week out, it's different every single week as far as UNFL's concerned. They didn't have A.J. Brown against the Falcons. And you saw Britton Covey being like the second guy. Like, come on, man. This offense took such a hit without A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
So I was concerned. All right, now you're without Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Your philosophy should be, we got to go ahead and get physical. We got to own the line of scrimmage. We got to get Saquon Barkley going. Jalen Hurts out of the pocket, making plays. It can't, unless you wanted to use Dallas Goedert, tight ends a little bit more over the middle of the field. I'm okay with that, but my theory was just, dance with the person that got you there. Saquon Barkley is a difference maker. And Jalen Hurts' legs. And then, so my philosophy would be what took place in that Super Bowl run, because that Jalen Hurts is still there. We saw him making plays with his legs in the first 2 weeks, albeit it's not the pop that was in that run to the Super Bowl. But damn it, Jalen Hurts is still one of the best athletes in the game. He can pick up that tough yard. Like, I get it because it's cute and it's funny and it's got that funny name, Tush Push. Like, dude, that is like the most difficult yard to pick up in football. And we do it consistently at what, 90%, 80%? I know with Kelsey we're doing at 90% this year. Like, Jalen Hurts has so many good things about him. Let's play to his strengths. Do I want to see him airing it out? Yeah, if he's got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley and Lane Johnson protecting his backside, absolutely. But if they're not healthy, then let's make it easy. Let's get Jalen Hurts out of the pocket. One read. If it's not there, go pick up 3.5, 4 yards. I don't give a damn. Like, I get it. Maybe I'm making it a little bit too easy, but at the end of the day, my ideas, my play, my game plan is a hell of a lot better than what they were showing against them.
Yeah, facts. And I think a lot of Eagles fans can, or at least we think, right? I mean, all of us probably think we can call a better game plan. And I was there, Sean. I was at the game.
Oh, you were there.
Oh, my God. It was terrible, man. It was horrible. I was talking my junk, though. I ain't back down. My girl was telling me, calm down, Carly. Humble yourself. We looking bad out there. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm paying $30 for a beer. I'm going to talk about junk. But no, we got my guy, Sean Brace, Fox Sports, The Gambler, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, the Daily Ticket. You'll catch me on his show later today. So definitely go follow us over on Fox Sports, The Gambler, YouTube, iHeartMedia, anywhere your mama listens to music or listens to sports. We are there. Last question I got for you, Sean, and then I'll get you out of here. We have the bye week. What's the most important thing, in your opinion, this bye week for the Eagles to kind of figure out or work on or do? What are you looking for them to kind of get done in this bye week?
Tackle.
Yes.
Get your ass down to NovaCare, and I want tackling. Not kidding. I mean, back in the day, maybe. It's funny because you brought up Trey and we brought up Dave Spadero. So that same day, we got Trey Thomas and Todd Hermans, and they talk often about Andy Reid and the differences. And it's not so much get off my lawn. It's not. It's just it's a realistic way of looking at everything. Trey was out with Kansas City this past preseason, this training camp. So he was like telling me the differences of what Andy Reid is now versus then. And I said, yeah, a couple Super Bowls will probably do that to somebody. And he's like, yeah, it's also the way that they have to deal with these players these days. And not so much coddle, but things are different. We know that. So you can only do so much in the off week. You can only do so much, as far as even when the week is in, as far as getting the practice and the hours and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to sit here and say rewrite the playbook or you got to revisit this. I did laugh about Sirianni saying I sat down with Vic Fangio to watch every play. Like, good, thanks, coach. Thank you for your service. But what do I want them to see? The obvious number one is get healthy. They have to get back. I'm pretty sure Lane Johnson will be back out there. I'm pretty sure Devontae's going to be out there. AJ with this hamstring, he was practicing. Did you see him on the field before the game? I think he was out there catching reps. So he should be back 2 weeks from now, we hope. So it's just, what I like to believe is that, they have a first day back. Everyone unplug. Everyone go do your thing except for freaking podcasts with Cowboy players. Come back in here and be ready for the second half of the season. When the schedule came out, I hated the bye week. The bye week could not have come at a better time.
Yeah.
Could not have come at a better time. And Nick Sirianni should just count his blessings that he did not get fired, because it would have been a good time to remove him as well. I could have saw that happening. However, I don't think that's going to be the case. Jeffrey Lurie brought Nick Sirianni back for a reason. You have to give him the opportunity. They're 2-2. Let's see what they got. Get healthy. Get your mind right. Start talking about the team. And hopefully this defense can start to figure things out. And we're not asking you for sacks. We're not asking you to limit a team to 100 yards. But the ability is there. We saw it against the Saints. You kept the Saints under 220 total yards. Jalen Carter's getting double teamed. That means somebody's free. Like, the defense has to play better. And Vic Fangio's got to call a better game as well.
Yeah, I think Forte said it best. He said, run the ball. It's 3 words, 9 letters, 1 goal. I like that comment. That was a good comment. So, Sean Brace, Fox Sports Gambler, like I said today, 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6, the Daily Ticket. You'll catch me on there live today. Sean, I appreciate you so much, brother. We'll get this done again sometime soon, and hopefully it'll be a lot more cheerful, a lot more happy talks. But I appreciate you, brother. Have a good one, man.
Anytime. I'll talk to you a little bit, Joe. You're the best.
Yes, sir. Be easy, man. That's my guy, Sean Brace, man. Like I said, you can catch us later on the Daily Ticket, Fox Sports Gambler. So I appreciate everybody that's in the comments. Let's get back to some of these comments. Need a robber. We need something. How about Nick Saban? Look, that's my thing. I don't know what type of coach we're going to get. I really don't. And I don't know if this is the situation that makes Jeffrey Lurie or Howie Roseman say we need to change up. We need to change the well. We've been picking from the same well. We need to change the well. We need to change who we're looking at, what type of guys we're looking at. Because the overarching, oh, my bad. Pressed the wrong button. But the overarching commonality between all these coaches is that they've never coached before, right? They usually come from the same tree. They usually come from that Andy Reid tree. The last time that we went outside of our pocket, outside of our back pocket, was Chip Kelly, and that didn't work. So it really, I don't know. I don't know what type of coach we're going to get. I don't know what type of coach we want. There's so many questions. Damn, $30 a beer. Yeah, they robbed me. They robbed me. It was like 20, but still, they robbed me. I was mad about that. Nick Saban, great idea. So he benches Hurts first thing. Yeah, that might not work. I don't know what type of coach they would want. I really don't. And that's why I don't think Bill Belichick would work. Because Bill Belichick would come in and he would ask for his hand to be in every single pot. And I don't think that the Eagles want to do that. I don't think that Howie Roseman wants to go back to a broom closet. I don't think Jeffrey Lurie wants to, just sit at home. I don't think that's the type of ownership or GM that we have. So I really don't know. And I know that's a cop-out, but I suggest Pete Carroll. He's a player's coach and can gather the team around him. He never lost to the Eagles, 8-0. He is good. He managed an overrated, overhyped, quirky quarterback with That's kind of funny. But isn't he like the GM of the Seahawks now? Doesn't he have a bigger role? I don't think he'll come to Philly. I'm pretty sure he has a bigger role now. Good throwing one-liners. Good at throwing one-liners more than a pass and made them superstars. Russell Wilson is Jalen Hurts. Better call Pete. It's toxic behavior. Defense can't stop anyone. They really can't. Let's see where we are. $30 a beer. Was it imported at least? I think so. I forget what I drank. No, I think I was drinking like Michelob Ultras or something like that. They don't have many options in Tampa. I mean... Yeah, Tampa has good food, though. I'll give them that. They got good food at the stadium. That's about it. But they were coming at me, man. I'm telling you, they were coming at me, bro. Like, even walking home, even walking to the car, there was one dude that just kept following us talking junk. So, I had to talk my junk back. You know what I'm saying? And everybody, it was crazy. It was crazy, but it was fun. Not Saban, he had no QB coach at Bama. Jalen didn't have a QB coach until he hit Oklahoma, but we do need a QB coach. That could be it, too. It could be that you just don't have the staff in place. I think that defensively, you got to get away from Vic Fangio's system. I've been saying this, and I'll say it again. I think you need to get away from Vic Fangio's system. If you do that, I think that it makes everything a little bit better. I think that because we are, I think, number one right now in press. But it's everything else. It's dropping your defensive ends into coverage. It's having Nolan Smith covering Chris Godwin. Like, it's stuff like that that's been happening for 3 or 4 years, probably a little bit longer, right? Ever since that we embraced this, Vic Fangio system, ever since we embraced this system, we've been doing the same thing. And I almost died right there, but we've been doing the same thing. Why would we want Bill in Philly? Well, he's just the best coach in our generation or of history and with the most Super Bowl and wins. But was that him? Or was that having a guy like Tom Brady? Because realistically, Bill Belichick has more rings than just with the Patriots, excuse me. He has more rings than just with them. He has a couple, I think, with the Jets, if I'm not mistaken, that he was their defensive coordinator. He's a defensive mind. He's a defensive guy. So he had arguably the best quarterback in the history of the NFL as his offense. That's what his offense was. His offense wasn't crazy. It wasn't wildly in depth. It was just a good offense that his quarterback knew like the back of his hand. That was, in my opinion, what it was. So if he came here, we're going to probably be really heavily focused on defense. But where does that leave Jalen Hurts? Because no offense to Jalen Hurts, he's not Tom Brady. So I don't know. Katai's mom says he's a toxic control freak. I mean, that's what they say. That is what they say, But I will say this one thing. They said That's like putting sweat on Jefferson. Yeah, I get it. But no, they said Tom Brady, when he was doing the, talking or whatever, he said, they asked him, I heard they didn't have fun playing with you. Like they didn't have fun. You weren't a fun guy to play with or whatever. And he was like, they were stressed. I thought being stressed was not winning Super Bowls. I feel them. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with these. I don't care if the players don't like the coach that much if we winning. I mean, Sean said it perfectly. Winning cures all. Winning is the elixir. If you start winning, nobody gives a damn what happens in the background, right? Nobody cares what's happening in the background if you're winning. He could be with the right coach. He might be. He coached Tom Brady, so he deserves some credit. I know we all would like to think Tom Brady did it alone, but he did. I'm not saying he did it alone. But I think sometimes we do give it a little too much credit. Because look at how they're looking now. They're not looking as lost as they were when Bill Belichick was there. And he's old. I mean, he's older. So I don't know. I don't know if he's the guy I would want. How many people we got in here? I haven't even gave shout outs to nobody. So altogether, we have like 60 plus people between Twitter and YouTube. So be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe wherever you are. Appreciate y'all. Who likes their boss? Exactly. Brady let Baker have it. Billy B had the GOAT quarterback and GOAT tight end. Yeah, I mean, he did. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, I'm not saying he's a trash coach. I just think that you have to understand what you're getting when you get him. You know what I'm saying? When you get him, you're not getting Tom Brady with him. You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady ain't coming with him. You know what I'm saying? Rob Gronkowski ain't coming with him. Right? I mean, the twins that used to play, what was their names? The twins. Oh, man. That played cornerback and safety. What was their name? McCourties, right? McCourties. The McCourties ain't coming with him. Lane will retire if Bill Belichick coach. I can't talk. Lane will retire if Bill is the head coach. Remember his comments. He did, yeah. He did take a shot at him when we won that Super Bowl. He did take a shot at him. I mean, I think Lane's like 2 or 3 years away anyway, so I don't think he would retire based on Bill. But he might. You might be right. I don't want Bill Belichick here. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. I really don't want Bill Belichick here. I don't mind having a defensive-minded coach, though. I really don't mind having a defensive-minded coach. I mean, I don't mind having an offensive coordinator as a coach, somebody that's done it before. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I don't know about Kellen Moore because I don't know what he's doing right now. I wouldn't mind old boy from the Lions. I wouldn't mind Joe Brady. I wouldn't mind trying to think of some names. Whoever the Texans OC is, I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind some offensive guys. AJ will want out if y'all want Jalen gone. I don't want Jalen gone. I never said that. Brian Flores, I wouldn't mind Brian Flores. At all. It's been a while since we had a black coach. That'll be kind of cool. I ain't gonna lie to you, and he's a good coach. What's going on, 901 Reacts? What's going on, brother? I don't think anybody wants Jalen gone. I mean, obviously there's haters out there that are going to talk junk about Jalen and, he's this, he's that. But realistically, I don't think that that's the move. I think that you have to utilize him the correct way. I think that's what it really comes down to. We're not utilizing him the correct way. I don't think Jalen's a guy that should be throwing it 30, 35 times a game. I don't think he's a guy that should be throwing it that much. Like Sean said, if everybody's healthy, yeah, go take your shots. But in this grand scheme of things, I think you should be a team that builds your pass off the run. That's realistically where I think we should be. Jalen did well when he saw Brady's quarterback coach in 2022. He did. Hurts gets another year to me. I mean, I don't think Hurts is the problem here. I really don't. The only problem I can see where Hurts is if you're the one, because we know that he's calling audibles, we know that he's calling plays at the line. If you're the one taking the ball out of Saquon's hands consistently, that's a problem. That is a problem to me. If he's the guy saying, Nick Sirianni called the run play, but let's change it to a pass play, then that's a problem. That is a problem. There's levels to it, Jalen. There's levels to it. But I don't know if that is the truth, so I can't say it. One more turnover, I want to square up with Jalen. One more turnover, and you got to start. Not one more, but one more bad game like that where turnovers are a problem. I think you have to start thinking about benching him. I truly do. Not for the whole season, not for an extended period of time, but I think that you have to really think to yourself, is it time that we sit him down and try and wake him up? You did it with Donovan McNabb. You know, you did it with Donovan McNabb. And after that, we went to the NFC Championship game that year. We benched him for a game, went to the NFC Championship game that year. So maybe you need to wake him up and say, you're not in what's the word? You're not impenetrable. What's the word I'm looking for? Philly Morning Joe. I got to drink more coffee in the morning. What's the word I'm looking for? You guys know what I'm trying to say, but he's got to understand that he can get got too. He needs to start playing like a fully paid quarterback. I think he's trying to do too much. I think he's trying to prove things to people. I think he's trying to show off for some reason. I don't know. I don't even want to say show off, but I think he's trying to prove a lot of people wrong. And that's where you get in trouble, man. That's where you get in trouble. If you're going to be predictable because you're going to run it a bunch. Don't be predictable because you're going to throw it. We're just not that team. Invulnerable. Thank you, Katayazwa. Thank you. I can't take another fumble. It brings back my PTSD. Immune. That's another good one. Yeah. I mean, I can't do it. Brian wants to smoke. He really do. He gonna fight that dude. Brian, chill, bro. Chill, bro. I don't know you like that. You might be able to fight, but Jalen Hurts looked like he could probably bench you. So I don't know. You know, I don't even know how you look. He could probably bench me. I'm a big dude, so I don't want no smoke with Jalen, bro. Just be better. Now, Darius, and that's what he's gonna be called. Darius, we could talk, big dog. I got your signed jersey here. I thank you for everything you did in Philly. But if you gonna block me, dog, we could fight, bro. No, I'm just kidding. I ain't fighting nobody. I ain't fighting nobody except for maybe Darius. But anyways, Brian wants to smoke, bro. I mean, it is what it is, man. I think that the more time goes by, the more I'm kind of just at the point of we'll get there. We're like, you know, Sean said it. We're 2-2. We can't be too upset right now. We can't be too Negadelphia, right? We can't. We just gotta keep on trucking. We gotta get healthy, and we gotta have faith in this team. I have faith in this team. I have faith in the fans that if we aren't doing well, they gonna let them know. And yeah, Katai's mom is right. If he is Darius until proven otherwise, you don't get Slay. You don't get big play. You don't get none of that. You get Darius. Yeah, Darius might get roundhoused. Baker Mayfield is getting the ball out in 1.5 seconds. That is a stark contrast to Jalen. Kellen must work on that. Yeah, you're 100% right, but Jalen got to work on that too. He's got to understand that if it's not there... Who snitched? Hold up. Oh, I forget that I be on other videos, and I'm like, well, it's people talking about me, and I commented on another video. Has nothing to do with this. Anyways, but... That's on Jalen, too. Jalen has to understand, listen, I don't have my top guys out there. I don't have Lane Johnson out there. If I see somebody running at me, I got to go. I got to get out of Dodge. I got to run this ball and get a first down or get 2 or 3 yards, get 3 or 4 yards, keep the chains moving. Like, that's what you got to do. Or throw the ball away and live to fight another down. All these taking sacks, that's on Jalen. A lot of it's on Jalen. Not all of it, but some of it's on Jalen. He's got, you know, everybody has a part of blame. That's the biggest thing right now. Everybody has a little bit of blame in this situation. Nobody is devoid of blame. Everybody has done something wrong. All the way to Darius, to our water boy. I'm telling you, everybody's done something wrong. So shout out to the water boy. Get your stuff together. No, I'm just kidding. I was just messing with you. It's giving Jalen Wentz. It really is. It really is. It really is. So I don't know what they're going to do. All I know is I'm not going to a football game for a while because if we're going to keep losing. All right, this is the third time that I've seen them lose to the Buccaneers, bro. Third time. I've seen them win, I think, once or twice. Once. Thank you. My girl just had to remind me that it was only once.
Sorry.
Once. I seen them beat them once. And you know what we did in that game? Ran the ball 40 times. What a coinky-dink. They got us as a bottom 5 team. Shake my head. Good. I want everybody to hate us. I want everybody to sleep on us. Everybody, we're done. I want everybody to think that. Everybody. I want everybody to say the Eagles are done. They're cooked. We're done. We ain't going to win nothing. So when we do, it's even sweeter. Even sweeter. And it's just funny you got 10. I don't even want to talk. I'm not going to say their name, but I ain't going to say them. But you got other teams out here that are 2-2 and they talking that junk like they out here undefeated. So it's a long season ahead of us. We are traditionally bad against the Bucks. It's a long season ahead of us. Todd Bowles is Jalen Hurts' weakness. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. I would have loved to have Todd Bowles as our head coach. I would have loved it. But hindsight is 2020. Hindsight is 2020. We could have had D'Amico Ryans. We could have had Todd Bowles. We could have had so many different people. But we got Nick Sirianni. Like Sean said, I think that is probably the encapsulation of all how I'm feeling. Just call me crazy. I think we can win with Bill. The way the team moves sometimes, the need a serious leader who knows what it takes to win. Kellen Moore still doesn't have full control, by the way. Yeah, I don't see Kellen Moore having full control. I really don't. Black coaches think differently. I think especially former players, right? You see it with Antonio Pierce, D'Amico Ryans, Todd Bowles, I believe, used to play. You see it with former players that they just connect with players a little bit better. They kind of understand it a little bit more. So there's not that much of a gap, right? There's not that big, like, with Bill Belichick, I don't think he's ever played a snap in his life. So he doesn't understand what it's like to, want to have a life outside of football, because that's all he does is football. But he prefers Little Caesars. Get this bum coach off my team. Does he really? He likes Little Caesars? Little Caesars ain't that bad, though. That might be a hot take. I don't think Little Caesars is all that bad. Hurts takes forever to find an open man. You ain't wrong. You are not wrong. Listen, everybody's got to get better. Everybody has to get better. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to go out there. You got to do your job. We have 75 people between all the channels. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in, that's been in the chat. You guys are always amazing, always a great time. Shout out to our special guest, Sean Brace from Fox Sports, The Gambler. You'll see me over there live later on today. You'll hear me on there later live on their iHeartMedia radio station. So definitely go check that out. I appreciate everybody so much. Y'all are amazing. But other than that, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it's going to be. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. And if you know it, say it with me. Peace!
Everywhere. This is for you.
Yeah. Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here cool on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season hit, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.